What's up, everybody? This is For All Out News here, and as you may have noticed, this is my very first YouTube video, so congratulations to me. But this is this is going to be a community channel. I want the community involved. I want suggestions. I want feedback. Yada yada yada. This isn't about me at all. And but in case you were wondering, this is the voice behind the For All Out Twitter handle, in case you were wondering or gave any semblance of a shit. So, let's get on to more exciting business, shall we? So, the topic of discussion today is the possibility of a Fallout 4 reveal at the Game Awards. Not the VGX or VGAs or whatever crap. It's been rebranded for the 87,000th time after last year's horrendously awful show. But I want to apologize in advance for my absolutely awful gameplay. I mean, not just the quality. If that's shitty too, I apologize. But I'm used to playing on consoles. I'm horrible on a fucking PC. Especially, I don't even have a mouse right now. It's just on a little touchpad thing. Um, yeah. So, Jeff Keighley recently sent out a tweet. I'll have the link in the description, but basically he said, "Oh, I had a fun night planning with the ladies who run Bethesda. You are Miss DC Deacon," which is Pete Hines. So I mean, there are two things they could be planning. One of them is a trailer for the game Doom, which was recently shown off at QuakeCon. Well, that wasn't that recent. That was like 8 months ago. But, a select few saw, gameplay footage and whatnot, but it wasn't released to the public. So, they gotta show that off eventually too. But, the reason why I think Fallout 4 is more likely is because, you really don't need much planning to just show a gameplay of Doom. You can just be like, oh, world premiere, Doom gameplay, and put that on the screen. After 30 seconds, it's gone. That's it. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. People already know the game exists. Some people have already seen it in action. So that really isn't probably what he's referring to. Oh wow, that was an awful grammar order enunciation. But so Fallout 4 could be what he's talking about, and I'll go into more in depth why. So my next reason why Fallout 4 could and I think likely will be announced at the TGAs, I guess is how you acronize that, is because Bethesda, they need something to come out in 2015. The only thing they have scheduled right now, releasing in 2015, most likely, is The Elder Scrolls Online for consoles. And, that's already released on PC, and it's been met with a very, lukewarm reception. So, I mean, that's not going to get them much hype or profit or anything at all. So they need something. Oh, and also, Battle Cry, their other announced game, and Doom, they're both supposed to have betas next year, but they're most likely not going to release next year, as far as we know. So ESO is the only game they have coming out, so you would think, Bethesda is a company. They need to make money. So you would think they'll have something else coming out next year to make them money. And if it's Fallout 4, that would make them, to put it lightly, a shit ton of money. So then the next reason, there are no opportunities to announce Fallout 4 between now and E3 besides the Game Awards. Let me tell you why. Because the Game Awards, as it's been announced, will have an audience of approximately 100 million people through various streaming services, PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, Twitch, YouTube, whatever, and that's just a massive stage for any publisher would love to announce their game on. And the only other stage that big, or probably bigger, is E3. And there's nothing in between them where Bethesda could announce Fallout 4 at with that much of an audience, that much of a platform, yada yada yada. And Bethesda has been on the record saying that they don't like announcing games at E3 because, it's such a huge event, their announcement could get overshadowed by, maybe a big Sony reveal of, of a virtual reality headset or some shit. Their massive audience, the Game Awards, and the exposure, you know, is certainly a factor into why Bethesda would want to announce it there. They need to announce it on a stage. There's not going to be, I've heard people talking, oh, maybe they'll do an internet campaign or a viral campaign. No. First off, Bethesda's never done that to announce a game. Yes, they did that with Fallout 3, but that was because it already been revealed through a press release. But, with Skyrim, there's a history with the Game Awards of the VGX, with Jeff Keighley. That's where Bethesda announced Skyrim in 2010 and then released it a year later. So they definitely have a history there. And even though the VGX really was shitty last year, looks like they've revamped it and hopefully for the better. So now it should be a good place for reveals and such to take place. So I think it's as good as place as any. Of course, there's no sure bet to where or when it'll be announced, but if I had to put a wager on it of at least 10 bottle caps, I would put it on the Game Awards. And also, let's look to some more recent activity. Recently, there was a fake trademark filed in Europe, as you probably already know if you're any sort of fan of the Fallout series and check on Fallout 4 news as regularly as I do, and I know some of my followers do on Twitter, is that Shadow of Boston, Fallout Shadow of Boston was filed in Europe under Bethesda's name, ZeniMax Media, whatever, and it simmered for a good half a day. It was trending #1 on Twitter. That's how much Fallout 4 is anticipated. #1 on Twitter. Bethesda has such huge power in their hands with Fallout 4. Nothing will outsell Fallout 4 except maybe Call of Duty, but that doesn't count. So, Bethesda debunked Shadow of Boston so quickly compared to another hoax, the Survivor 2299, which is, as you probably know, devastating for the Fallout community and me and everyone else. That took them, I think, a good month to, for them to reveal it as a hoax. While with this Shadow of Boston trademark, they debunked it within a day. Bethesda and Pete Hines sent out a tweet saying, "Look, German trademark making the rounds is not ours." So I think the main reason why they might have done that, the reason why they might have done that is because they wanted to clear the air. They don't want any, fake hoax, kind of, messing with their marketing plan for Fallout 4, being revealed at the Game Awards. They don't want, any confusion. If they were to announce it, people were like, oh, this is Shadow of Boston. And Bethesda, that would piss them off. They don't want anything messing with this reveal. As opposed to last year when the Survivor was going around, they weren't keen on debunking it because they had no business interest in it, They weren't planning to announce it. Excuse me, I just say pause. For a very long time, so they weren't worried. It wasn't until it started to affect them negatively with all this bad PR that they jumped in and said it was a hoax. And also worth noting is that they referenced the trademark when they debunked it by name. They said the German trademark making the rounds is false. But with the Survivor, they just gave a public service announcement saying, if you don't hear it from an official source, assume all rumors to be false. So, also the wording there, they don't want to leave a shadow of a doubt as to what is fake. So, in review, I think it will likely be revealed at the Game Awards. I think, yes, the wait will finally be over. We will rejoice in the wasteland. It will be fucking Christmas, New Year's, all combined into one fucking nuclear blast of energy and excitement that will set the world on fire. It will light the world on fire. Yes, I want to set the world on fire because Jeff Keighley's heavily hinted at it. You know, Bethesda needs to release something next year. They can't just be like, "Oh, we're gonna go bankrupt," you know. And I mean, there's just nowhere to announce it between December 5th of the Game Awards and E3, which takes place in July. Yes, there's PAX East, but I mean, it's not known as well as those other two places I mentioned previous, and it doesn't have the exposure, you know, with that huge audience. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much my belief there. I mean, of course, it's not set in stone. You know, you just don't know with Bethesda, but I think you got to keep an eye on it. I think it could happen, and I think it will happen. So I mean, thanks for watching. I mean, sorry I had to stumble through all this shit. It's my first YouTube vid, so cut me some slack. So I mean, please like and comment and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Tomorrow's video will be about the top 5 things that I think should be added in Fallout 4. I'd love to hear your suggestions on Twitter at 4allout. So, for All Out News, I'm signing off. Peace, Wastelanders.